can't fuck the goddamn view, damn it! Ah!
One of the most talked about moments of the NBA season came when LeBron James approached Stephen A. Smith during a nationally televised game and delivered a message face-to-face in front of a packed arena and millions of viewers watching at home. The incident took place on March 6, 2025, during the Lakers' 113-109 victory over the Knicks at Crypto.com Arena. During a third-quarter timeout, LeBron left the bench area and headed directly toward the courtside seats where Smith was sitting. After a brief but intense exchange, LeBron turned around and walked away, leaving fans and media members scrambling to figure out exactly what had been said and what had prompted the unexpected confrontation.
You can't fuck the goddamn view, damn it! Ah!
The moment quickly exploded across the sports world. Within hours, the video was everywhere, shared by major sports accounts, debated on podcasts, and dissected across social media. The footage showed LeBron James speaking directly to Stephen A. Smith during a timeout, but with no audio available, viewers were left to speculate about exactly what was said. Reports later suggested LeBron's message centered on comments involving his son, turning a brief exchange into one of the biggest talking points in sports media. What made the incident so significant wasn't just the confrontation itself, but the setting. Rather than handling the issue privately, LeBron chose to address it during a nationally televised game in full view of fans, cameras, and the basketball world. By the time the game ended, the story had already taken on a life of its own, setting the stage for even more discussion the following day.
That was LeBron James coming up to me, unexpectedly I might add, to confront me about making sure that I mind what I say about his son. Can't repeat the words because they ain't suited for FCC airwaves. That's what he was doing. That wasn't a basketball player confronting me. That was a parent. That was a father. And I can't sit here and be angry or feel slighted by LeBron James in any way in that regard. Now let me tell you what I feel. I never would speak negatively about your son. I was talking about you, meaning you, LeBron James.
What made the aftermath so surprising was Stephen A. Smith's reaction. Rather than responding with anger or turning the confrontation into a personal feud, he acknowledged that LeBron's emotions appeared to come from a different place. Speaking the next day, Smith said he did not view the exchange as an athlete upset with media criticism, but as a father protecting his son. That distinction immediately changed the tone of the conversation. Instead of focusing solely on the clash between a superstar and a commentator, the debate shifted toward the boundaries of sports criticism and how public figures react when family members become part of the discussion. In that moment, Smith's response added a layer of understanding to a story that had already captured the attention of the entire sports world.
When we're talking about the Lakers, that's about LeBron, not Bronny. Bronny wanted to get drafted by any NBA team. He wanted to hear his name. It was LeBron that wanted him as his teammate. What I'm saying to you is, if LeBron had rolled up on me, all he had to say, because I said this to Rich Paul when Rich Paul called me, if you had called me and said, Bron pissed off, he wants to see you man to man, I said, what would I have done? Rich Paul said, you'd have hung up the phone and you flew to LA. I said, thank you. Rather than come up to me at courtside, all you had to do was say, yo, I need you to see you after the game. You didn't do that shit. You said you with my son. No, I wasn't. I was talking about you. It wasn't about your son. I know he's number 55.
What stood out most in the aftermath was Stephen A. Smith's measured response. Known for his strong opinions and outspoken style, Smith did not escalate the situation. Instead, he said he understood why LeBron James was upset and emphasized that his issue was with how the confrontation happened, not necessarily why it happened. Smith explained that LeBron had multiple ways to reach him privately, whether through a phone call or an in-person conversation, and said he would have welcomed either. According to Smith, the decision to address the matter publicly during a nationally televised game is what turned a personal disagreement into a major story. As the debate continued, attention shifted back to the roots of the conflict, with many tracing it to the scrutiny surrounding Bronny James after the Lakers selected him in the 2024 NBA draft, a move that instantly became one of the most discussed storylines in basketball.
With the 55th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Los Angeles Lakers select Bronny James from the University of Southern California.
The roots of the controversy stretch back to one of the most historic moments in NBA history, when LeBron James and Bronny James became the league's first active father-son duo. For LeBron, the achievement carried deep personal meaning and represented a milestone years in the making. But while many celebrated the story, media scrutiny quickly followed. Among the most vocal critics was Stephen A. Smith, who repeatedly questioned whether Bronny was ready for the NBA spotlight. Across television appearances, podcasts, and other platforms, Smith argued that Bronny would have benefited from more development time, and that placing him on an NBA roster so early risked exposing him to intense public criticism before he was fully prepared. Those comments became a recurring topic throughout the season, and eventually helped set the stage for the highly publicized confrontation between Smith and LeBron.
Really trying to be as respectful as I possibly can be towards LeBron James. I am pleading with LeBron James as a father. Stop this. Stop this. We all know that Bronny James is in the NBA because of his dad. We love what we're seeing from him in the G League because that's where you belong. As you hone your skills and you get better and you legitimately earn, which I believe he has the potential to do, I am rooting for Bronny James.
A key part of Stephen A. Smith's defense was that he consistently claimed his criticism was directed at LeBron James, not Bronny James. Smith argued that his issue was with the decision-making process surrounding Bronny's NBA path, not with Bronny as a player or person. He repeatedly stated that he had avoided publicly criticizing Bronny during his younger years and had even expressed support for him during the serious health scare he faced in 2023. From Smith's perspective, his commentary was aimed at LeBron, whom he believed was placing his son under an enormous spotlight before he was fully ready for the pressure that comes with being an NBA player. In Smith's telling, he was not attacking Bronny but questioning whether a father's desire to make history had unintentionally put a young player in a difficult position.
Which leads obviously to you and Stephen A. Hey, legit, that feels like a moment that had been brewing for a long time.
He's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now.
Oh yeah, yeah, we're watching it.
Yep.
We're all seeing it.
Oh yeah,
you're seeing it as well.
He literally, it started off with, I didn't want to address it.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't want to address it. I wasn't going to address it. But since the video came out.
LeBron James didn't see Stephen A. Smith's distinction between criticizing a father's decisions and targeting his son as meaningful. From his point of view, Smith was a major media voice repeatedly talking about Bronny James on national television during a sensitive moment in his early NBA journey, and that alone crossed a line. The disagreement simmered throughout the 2024-25 season, with Smith continuing his commentary while LeBron stayed mostly silent, and the pressure eventually boiled over on March 6th during their courtside exchange at a Lakers game. In the aftermath, attention turned to how the situation escalated over time, as Smith's tone reportedly hardened while the debate around Bronny's readiness for the league became even more intense, turning what started as sports commentary into something more personal and emotionally charged. Smith's public tone shifted noticeably after the confrontation, as he began appearing across multiple platforms, including podcasts and shows like Gillies Arena, The Pivot, and other media appearances. What had initially been a restrained and measured response evolved into something far more direct and emotionally charged. He started openly accusing LeBron James of misrepresenting what was said during their exchange, repeatedly framing it as dishonesty rather than misunderstanding. One of the most significant turning points came when Smith explicitly referred to LeBron as lying, marking a clear escalation in how he described the situation. From that moment, the discussion moved away from basketball analysis or media boundaries and into a more personal dispute over credibility and intent. He also began reflecting on the confrontation in more hypothetical terms, discussing what might have happened if the situation had turned physical. While he acknowledged the power imbalance, his broader point focused on respect and personal dignity, emphasizing that public stature should not be used as a form of intimidation without consequence. Smith referenced the Will Smith and Chris Rock incident as a cautionary parallel, drawing a clear line between verbal confrontation and physical escalation and emphasizing where he believed that boundary should be. Over time, his comments became even more personal and direct. In one podcast appearance, when asked how he felt about LeBron James on a personal level, not professionally, Smith gave a blunt response, saying he simply did not like him, without softening it or adding any respect-based qualifier. He tied that feeling to years of tension, including disagreements in the GOAT debate where he has consistently leaned toward Michael Jordan, and to what he views as LeBron's tendency to shape narratives through public relations. Smith also accused LeBron of reframing the controversy around fatherhood instead of the basketball criticism that originally sparked it. Even by April 2026, he was still revisiting the confrontation in interviews and podcasts, continuing to discuss the same grievances with the same intensity long after the original moment had passed. The courtside moment quickly stopped being the story itself and instead became the starting point for a much larger public back-and-forth between Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James. In the weeks that followed, Smith expanded on his perspective across multiple media platforms, while LeBron remained largely silent for nearly 3 weeks after the confrontation. When he finally spoke in late March 2025 during an interview with Pat McAfee, LeBron framed the issue as a clear boundary between basketball criticism and family. He said that while he has always accepted scrutiny of his game, anything that involves his family, particularly his son, crosses a different line entirely. In his view, that kind of situation requires direct confrontation rather than private discussion. LeBron also took a more pointed and sarcastic approach when addressing Smith's ongoing media commentary, comparing his extended run of appearances to a Taylor Swift tour. A remark that reframed Smith's response as performative rather than principled. After that interview, LeBron did not continue the public exchange, choosing instead to leave his statement as his final word on the matter. Smith eventually focused in on a detail he believed most people had overlooked: the camera footage of the confrontation itself. The viral clip that circulated widely showed only a single usable angle, LeBron James' face clearly visible, while Stephen A. Smith was seen only from behind. In an era where NBA arenas are equipped with extensive broadcast coverage in multiple camera positions, Smith questioned how such a high-profile moment could end up with so little visual variety. He pointed out that he had arrived courtside in the first quarter and that the confrontation happened in the third, meaning cameras had been rolling for an extended period before the exchange occurred. From his perspective, in a nationally televised TNT game with constant coverage, the lack of additional angles seemed unusual. He raised the point not as proof of anything definitive, but as something he felt warranted attention, suggesting that the limited footage added another layer of complexity to an already heavily discussed moment. Smith also questioned why only one camera angle from the confrontation circulated widely, arguing that it showed LeBron James clearly from the front while Stephen A. Smith appeared only from behind, which in his view shaped how the moment was perceived. He did not directly claim the situation was staged, but he suggested the lack of additional footage in a heavily broadcasted NBA arena raised questions about how the clip was captured and shared. He also pointed out that the confrontation happened on the same night as his major ESPN contract extension announcement, saying the timing made the incident feel even more significant and overshadowing a major career milestone. Looking at the bigger picture, the situation highlighted LeBron's long-standing willingness to absorb public criticism without direct confrontation,